Hey everybody, thanks for watching. My name is Emile Lamdieu, and the name of my business is Create Your Nice Day. You can find me on the web, createyourniceday.com. And on there you'll find a little bit of my artwork, a little bit of my writing, and a little bit more both becoming real soon. Now my purpose is to help people prepare for the journey of a lifetime by learning to live as though life was just one little adventure after another. I've done 14 different podcasts in this series called Think About It. Last week we talked about opportunities, which are really just windows. And a window shows up when you are working independently, neither dreading or whining. The topic this week is perspective. I'm going to tell you what my perspective used to be, what happened, and what I know about perspective today. The word of the week is the word view. I'm going to give you Webster's definition of the word view, and then I'll give you my definition of the word view. Next will be a spiritual assignment. I'll give you an assignment for the week, something you can chew on while you're sitting in traffic. So, what was my perspective? Well, it was pretty short-sighted. I only saw things from my point of view. All I cared about was what I needed and what I wanted. Physically, emotionally, mentally, and even spiritually. Basically, it was all about me. But most children or immature people do think like that. Most children, though, with the help of lovingly involved and evolved supportive parents, grow out of all that. Those children see themselves as intricate members of an intricate world. They want to contribute. They find out early the benefits of compromise, collaboration, and self-discipline. But not all children have that. Some children have lousy parents. I know. I used to be one. And I didn't even know. I couldn't see it. And I think there's a lot of people who don't know, who just never grew up. They never got to see the benefits of joining or belonging or feeling that they really do have something to contribute. So, we end up with a lot of selfish, unloving, abusive, and mean people out there. You can blame it on parents, or on society, or on the movies playing at Tinseltown. But let's face it, there's a lot of people in the world who are just trying to function by seeing the world from their point of view. It's like they're goats. They just keep bashing their heads into a wall. Demanding your way is no way to get it. But that was my perspective. It was a mine against yours thing. Me against the world. A one perspective, one woman show. How lonely it is at the top. It gets even more lonely at the bottom. What have I learned about perspective? Well, I know that in order to get a job, you've got to go there with just ideas about how much money you want to make. You've got to go to the interview thinking about the needs of your boss. I've also learned that the only way to be successful in this life is by looking at things from the perspective of those people that you're trying to serve. Those people maybe that you want to have money from. Perspective, the best way to say it is one and done. Because if you're only thinking about you, you're going to end up out of the game. What I know about perspective today is perspective is the beginning of empathy. And empathy is a beautiful thing. If you want to know the difference between empathy and compassion, let me tell you. Compassion says, oh, that must suck for you. But empathy says, oh my gosh, that would suck for me if I was in your position. Perspective is also the beginning of self-awareness. First, you see things from another person's point of view. And eventually, you start being able to see yourself from somebody else's perspective, from society's perspective, maybe from God's perspective. Another thing I know about perspective is some people think that similar situations cause similar perspectives. And you know what? That's not always true. Because what I've found to be true is in a crowd, there's usually one person, irregardless, who can always see the goodness in themselves, in others, in society, in God. You know, perspectives are the directions our windows are facing, not the street address of our house. The word for this week is the word view. Now, Webster's definition for the word view are many. I'll give you a couple. It's the extent or range of vision, like tried to keep the ship in view. The act of seeing or examining, like an inspection. A manner of looking at something, like an opinion, in my view. It can also be a visual scene, a lovely view from the balcony. But my definition for the word view, that's a little different. My definition for the word view, V-I-E-W, is vulnerable investigations exploring wisdom. V, vulnerable, I, investigations, E, exploring, W, wisdom. So vulnerable investigations exploring wisdom. Because here's the thing about perspective. Here's the thing about our view. We get more out of life the more we try to squeeze every experience we can out of our lives before they're over. And how we do that is by making connections with other people. But in order to really connect with somebody, we got to be able to hear other people. We got to be able to determine what it is they're asking for. You know, what is it they need? What is it they want? And you got to honestly figure out if you can fit the bill. And you also got to figure out if you can't fit the bill, do you know of anybody else that can? So there's work on our part that needs to be done. In order to connect, we need to be vulnerable with other people. We got to be honest and talk about where we're coming from. We got to know what we're looking for. Never settle, but don't look thirsty either. You got to know your skill set. You got to know what you can do and what you can't do. You also got to know what you just plain don't want to do. And it's nice when you finally get to the point where you know enough people that you can be the one to call when people are looking for work or tenants or jobs. Vulnerable investigations exploring wisdom. Let me tell you right now, the only person that's going to agree with you 100% of the time is you. So, get over yourself. Because you don't have to agree with somebody about everything in order to learn something from them. I mean, if you only agree with somebody 50%, that means you agree with them about 50%. And all that helps you to grow as a person just by being open-minded enough to listen, to empathize, to hear their perspective, to get their view. So the spiritual assignment for this week, when you're stuck in traffic, I want you to think about what the view might be in the car next to you, in the car behind you, or maybe in the throne above you. Thanks for watching, everybody, and God bless. And if you don't believe in God, that's okay. Just ask Him to keep blessing you until you do. Good night.